You may want to stop whatever it is you're doing and sit down, perhaps with a few friends, and watch this video about Antarctica. The evidence we're going to show today is going to change everything. For the last 3 or 4 years, all across this continent, we have uncovered a great many things that prove it's more than just penguins, seals, wind ice, rock, and snow. Earlier today, over at the Florida Maquis Alpha site, we dropped a video showing 4 examples of alien elongated skulls just sitting on the surface. I've made the allegation that perhaps this idea of climate change might have a silver lining to it. Something nobody expected. We're going to start to see things that are going to make them rewrite the history books. Now, the Florida Maquis Alpha site is just the backup site for this main channel. And over the last week, we have been republishing some things that we have found. But today, I'm going to show you a brand new find. Something that came to me from another viewer, believe it or not, of both channels. It might be the greatest single find ever submitted by a viewer to the Florida Maquis. Now, the name of the video that we put up earlier is Giant Alien Skulls Have Now Been Discovered in Antarctica. Undeniable evidence we are not alone. And these images are very clear, and these are only 4. These are just the 4 clearest and best ones. There are many, many more. But I'd like to give credit where credit is due. Nevada geologist, 42 subscribers, only 2 videos here on YouTube, gave me a set of coordinates that said, I think this is a foot, but I can't be sure. Can you look at this? And I thought, well, a couple of years ago, I found a giant footprint in Antarctica, and it was met with a great deal of skepticism. But when I looked at his evidence, it was mind-blowing. And it does go to another question. Many say, Florida Maquis, even if we accept that these 4 images are in fact skulls, where are the rest of the body? Where are the ribs? Where are the arms? Where are the legs? It's a continent the size of Europe. If you're finding all of these things scattered across the surface, shouldn't there be other parts of the body? And that's an excellent question. That's absolutely an excellent, excellent question. Now, something that goes on in Antarctica and at the polar regions that doesn't occur anywhere else other than in the deep oceans is something called polar gigantism. This, for example, on the left here is a normal pill bug, a little roly-poly like everybody knew growing up. This is the exact same animal in Antarctica. Now I'll zoom out here a little bit so you can see the guy's hand. How much bigger a roly-poly pill bug is in Antarctica than it is anywhere else. This is also a sea spider on the left. As you can see, you can hold it in the palm of your hand. Over here, the guy has to have a giant hot tub, and even the thing barely fits in that. And we, of course, know the story of the Patagonian giants. Now, we're not going to waste a whole bunch of time going through all of this, but this is a story of a Patagonian cannibal over 12 feet tall. This is the area of South America that's closest to Antarctica. There's been skulls and bones dug up all over. And many have said, well, some might be fake. This might be Photoshop. This particular guy is standing next to a footprint, a very clear footprint, that looks like about 5 feet tall. This guy's standing next to one that looks like it's about 20 feet. Now, the standard ratio of foot to height is 6:1. So if we assume this to be 20 feet, this would correlate to a giant of over 100 feet. Now, what did we find in Antarctica? I know a lot of you have been waiting. We just had to get all that out of the way. A long time ago, I was searching right around the 6 o'clock region of Antarctica. And I came across what looked like a giant 4-toed footprint. And some said, Florida Maquis, yeah, I don't know. That looks like kind of a shadow. But you had the heel shape to it. You have a toe here, another one here, and it looks like whatever it is 4-toed. 1, 2, 3, 4-toed. And we're going to go ahead and measure this again. We're going to pull up the ruler function on Google Earth Pro and set the line, of course, to feet, and then we'll measure. roughly about 54, 55 feet across from heel to toe, and width-wise about 25 and a half feet. Now, this is not the find that Nevada geologists submitted. Nevada geologists submitted a foot, an actual foot, laying on the ice in Antarctica. And I'm like, well, I need to see this. There's just no way. And so he gave me the coordinates, and I could not believe the coordinates. You ready for this? Less than 6 miles away. Less than 6 miles away. Now, hang on to your whatever, folks. This is going to blow your mind. Laying on the ice here, and it looks like this is what we have here is a body starting to uncover. Right here, we can see the lower half of a leg, a shin, and you can see this looks like it's a left leg. Like here would be the big toe, but 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. So here we have less than 6 miles away, a foot, a shin, and a lower leg area here, setting pristine, being uncovered by the melt from climate change. Now, here's the mind-blowing part. You ready for this? What's the chances 6 miles away, less than actually, it's about 5.8 miles away, that there would be a foot and a footprint that would measure the exact same size? If it's all just pareidolia and apophenia and you're just seeing things in the shadows that aren't there. Let's go ahead and measure. You ready? This is about 42 and a half feet long. Now somebody say, well, the other one was 50-something feet long. Well, that's the print. Running downhill, running uphill. As you could see with the print, there was some elongated striations from the toes, but that's what you would have in ice and snow. It wouldn't be perfect. But that they're this close in size, it's very hard to measure because of the angle of the camera. But this is smoking gun to me. This is more than just skulls and dragons and caves and unexplained imagery that looks like settlements. This could be an actual body of a giant uncovering in the ice. As you can see, there's a large dark spot here. I don't know whether this was a burial site or whether this was where the individual just perished. But there is almost, and I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up or not, very close to it, almost a hint of a skull coming through the ice. We have an eyeball here, a nasal cavity here. We have the brow ridge. Let's go look at that footprint one more time. And like I said, it's not on the other side of the continent. It's literally only a few miles away. For a creature this size, walking distance, piece of cake. The shape is undeniable. The print could have had issues with the warming and the melting and the refreezing, and that could be why the print itself might be a little bit larger than what the foot is. Or maybe this particular individual had some type of a foot protection over his heel, and that's why this area is much larger, some type of a boot, and that's why we could still see the toes. One of the things, and the reason I brought up the Patagonian giants, is that the giants that were described in South America, very close to Antarctica, were not known for wearing very much. Usually they weren't wearing anything at all. They might have some type of a cloak, but many of the descriptions of the giants were that they were completely without anything on their feet or anywhere else. So that would make sense. Now, this would be a huge, huge giant. But I just cannot. There's another place in Antarctica. It's on the other side of the continent. And we've covered this for quite some time. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but let's see if we can pick it up in the right ear. Sometimes this imagery gets buried in the layers, and it's very difficult to see sometimes. Meaning that something appears one year and then it gets covered up with snow and you don't see it in the next year. But when you look very, very closely here, you can see the head, the skull, you can see the shoulder bone, the scapula. Then here's the body, here's the hips, and then the legs. You can see the feet, the legs are crossed. Here's this would be his left leg here, crossing under his right. So his left foot's here, his right foot's here. And then right by it, another giant skull, a giant elongated skull. This looks like it might be some kind of a related animal that had the same morphing of the skull for some reason. Who knows? This could actually be the skull of a dragon for all we know. But one thing's for sure, it's very distinct and different than everything else around it. But let's go back to that foot again. The fact that it only had 4 toes, there's been stories of giants having multiple rows of teeth and 6 fingers on the hand. But this is exactly what a foot would look like in the cold. Has anybody ever seen someone who is suffering from frostbite? What happens to the flesh and the skin and how it turns this kind of pale color, almost black. But 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. And we'll measure this again. We do this in feet. We'll start doing it in feet. We'll start from the very tip here. And we'll go all the way to the back there about. It looks right where the heel meets the lower leg, about 44.7 feet. And the width is about 21 feet. And there could also be, this might not have been the size of the foot when the giant perished. This could be, of course, as we know, what happens to the human body as it decomposes, it shrinks. So that could account for the difference in the size. But you can see the separation of the toes and where the shin meets the ankle right here. And if we go back over to the footprint, and like I said, for me, this is the Nevada geologist, incredible find, by the way, incredible find. This is the smoking gun for the footprint. 4 toes. 4 toes, 5.5 miles away. And in Antarctica terms, 5.5 miles is nothing. It's a continent the size of Europe. It's huge. Thousands of miles. That these two things are this close together. We'll measure this again one more time. Across, the print's about 25 feet, so a little bit bigger. And from heel to toe, about 58 feet. Smoking gun evidence. It doesn't get better than this. So once again, I want to give credit where credit is due. Nevada geologist. This is exactly the site on YouTube. NEVADAGEOLOGIST. All small, all one word. 42 subscribers. Excellent find. Excellent correlative find. It's just that one's mind-blowing. I mean, I've been looking at Antarctica now for 4.5 years, and there's stuff down there that I've seen that should take my breath away more than what it does at this point. That was a breathtaking find. An absolute stunner that it was that close. I had looked at that region, and that goes to show you there's probably still stuff down there to be found. I had looked at that region for hours and hours and hours, and I never saw that. Never saw it. So, great eye. Absolutely fantastic job, but the evidence is down there. The evidence is going to continue to be uncovered. Every year, every summer, billions of tons of ice disappear from Antarctica. And many people react as if it's the end of the world, and it's going to cause problems. It doesn't matter who you blame. There could be a silver lining. The things we could discover, the technologies we could find, the histories that could be rewritten, it's going to be an amazing, amazing time to be alive. I wish I was younger. So it's kind of partial reason I try to take care of myself as much as I can so that I can live long enough to maybe see some of these things be brought to fruition. And if what I've contributed plays any small role in it, then it'll have been worth it. So anyway, Florida Maquis channel, thank you everyone here for liking, sharing, subscribing. Also, the Florida Maquis Alpha site, just like it sounds. Florida Maquis, MAQUIS, Alpha site, SITE, just like a work site, not like what you do with your eyeballs. It's our backup channel. It's where we're doing the Antarctica stuff. Would love to have you there. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. Have a great week, and we'll see you guys next time.